Welcome to a demonstration of the new MaintScapeWeb that's coming out with build 143. This is a web application designed to run on tablets and phones. So it's designed for work order processing and for craftsmen to take their mobile devices with this application on it to do their work. Uh, we'll start with the log on screen. Um, the craftsman would log on using their logon ID, their regular Mainscape logon ID. And once they do so, they're presented with their active work order tasks starting from those due today. You'll see up in the menu bar that it identifies who is logged on. And you see a list of work orders. So just looking at this, we have a work order number, we have the machine being maintained, the date that the work is to be done, the number of hours, the due date of the work order, the location, priority, status of the work order, and a task summary. Now we can scroll through the list of work orders that are available. So for example, if we scroll backwards, we'll see the work orders that are active that are overdue. If I click the previous link, we have another set of work orders. We can scroll forward again. We can go to page 1. Notice that it tells you what page you're on. So we're on page -1, which means we're back one page. We click back, forward, back to page 1. Now you can actually filter the work orders that you're shown through this show parameters link. If we click it, search criteria are shown. So for example, by default, you start from the work orders due today. However, you can change that. So we can say, show me work orders starting the beginning of the month, for example. You can change the number of work orders that are shown without scrolling. And there's an option to include completed tasks. If I mouse over the question mark, it explains how tasks can be marked as completed, and by default they will not show in this list because this is designed to be a list of work that's still to be done. However, using this checkbox, you can change that so you actually do see the completed tasks. Well, as you can imagine, if we click into any work order number, there's a link, and if we click in, we will see the work order details. There's at the top, there's general work order information. You'll recognize this from the MaintScape regular application: work order number, the work order type, the due date, priority, the equipment that the work order that is to be maintained, the task summary. And then for the you see a number of tabs of other information, which is also similar to how MaintScape has always worked. On the main tab, we see the status of the work order, number of days open, the number of days until it's due, the equipment, class, type, location, and the task description. If we flip to the main 2, we see some secondary information, including this work order was created by a maintenance schedule. Other information you'll recognize from the MaintScape main menu. On the Notes tab, you will see any notes that may have been made. which are observations that are made while doing the work. And here's the first action item that you can do within the new MaintScape Web. As you're doing the work, you can inject a note. So for example, we can say seal needs to be replaced soon. Submit. And it is put on the work order, and whoever is reviewing the work orders in the usual MaintScape will see that too, along with the date and who entered the note. Now, if there's a parts tab, and you'll see there's a -1 after. What that's telling you is that is one part on the work order. So if we click into it, we can see the part. It's a particular bearing with a code and a name. Quantity of 1 is required, and there's a note here saying that this part is under inventory control. If I mouse over that, it explains that makes that more clear. Now this part has not yet been issued out of inventory because it shows you where in your part room that part is supposed to be located and an on-hand quantity. And if you go get that part, you are able to click the issue link, and in real time that will deduct the inventory and mark the part as issued on this date within the work order. If you made a mistake, you can click on issue, and that reverses it, and it actually physically puts the quantity back into inventory. Inventory is being updated in real time. Let's take a look at the labor tab. There's a 3 following labor. That tells me that there are 3 labor records on this particular work order. So of the 3 records, 1 is being done by myself, the fictional Arthur Grimes. 1 labor item is being done by a contractor, and 1 is still unassigned. However, it requires a master electrician. For each of the labor items, you can see scheduled time. So for example, this work is scheduled for October 20th for 4 hours. You have the opportunity to indicate that that scheduled time has been completed, and if you click the checkbox, it updates in the MaintScape database, and you can reverse that as well. Now what you further can do is, as you're doing your work order, is you can record your actual hours. So there's a link here. If we record time, so I can it defaults to today. I can adjust that if I like, and I can say that I spent 3 hours, and if you've set up with overtime, etc., you can specify that as well. And if I click submit, you'll notice that the web page is updated, that not only do we have the scheduled time, we also have the actual time, and I will mark this as complete. Now, there's one more thing we can do on the work order, is we can mark the whole task itself as complete. So when you're done with this work order task, you can click this completed flag, and that updates in the MaintScape database. This is a new date item, and it will signal to someone using MaintScape to review this work order because it's completed, and close it if they choose. Now, if you we can go back to our list of work order tasks, which we came from, and we can drill down into another work order. We can also let's go to the main page. And we can also actually scroll through the list without going back to the task list using the next and previous links at the top. So We're on work order 4829 for conveyor 2. I click next. I'm now on 4838 for conveyor 3. Well, this is, one more thing I wanted to show is this is a modern responsive web application in that it will look good on both small screens like phones and wider screens such as tablets or laptops. And just to give you an illustration, if I make the web page smaller to say phone width, you'll notice that the controls rearrange so that you can you can still clearly read what's there. So for example, here we have two fields across. Now if I widen it back to say a tablet width, you'll see now it rearranges to 4 across. So this is called a responsive application. The same application will work nicely on a phone or a tablet. Although you might find that a tablet has more ability, you'll have more ability to, there's a lot of data here and you need a little bit of screen real estate, but it will work and look fine on a phone. This is going to be the basis of a lot of future development. However, we are coming out with our new release very, very shortly. Our first release with MaintScape Build 143. There are plenty of other MaintScape enhancements in our regular application, and we're really looking forward to getting it out, used by our customers, and getting your feedback for future development, because there will be plenty. And thank you very much. I will log off, and that is our introduction. Thank you again.